Are you thinking about relocating to the northwest part of Las Vegas and thinking about El Capitan Ranch? Well, you're watching the right video, because in today's video, we are going to be covering the pros and cons of living in El Capitan Ranch. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna be covering the pros and cons about living in El Capitan Ranch. El Capitan is in one of the furthest northwest parts of Las Vegas. So we're gonna be breaking down the pros and cons for you guys in this specific community. And if this is the first time you're checking out my YouTube channel, thanks so much for watching. We talk about everything Las Vegas, mortgage, real estate, investing. We got you covered if you're thinking about relocating here. That's one of the best things that I love talking to all of you about, is helping you with your move and helping you call Las Vegas your new home. So I appreciate if you can hit the bell, subscribe to our channel, drop some comments below. All that stuff helps our channel spread the love to everybody else out there in the YouTube world. And I appreciate you guys checking us out. So let's hop into today's video and talk about El Capitan Ranch. I've got our special guest, Carlos Rodriguez. He's one of the top agents that we work with here in Las Vegas, and he's gonna be giving us a list of the pros and cons. So Carlos, thanks for helping us out today, man. What's some of the pros about living in El Capitan Ranch?
Well, thanks, Sean. A pro for El Capitan Ranch is it's pretty far away from the busy bustle and hustle life type of momentum that we get here. It's northwest area, kind of rural. El Capitan Ranch is a very unique area. They tend to have basements in there. The builders during the 1990 to 1999 year, they put basements in that area. So if you're looking to create a home office, a man cave, or anything down there, you might want to check out El Capitan Ranch.
So you say it's further away. How far are we away from the Strip, roughly?
I would say like about 25 minutes at least, with no traffic. So it's pretty out there. So if you plan on working from the Strip, you got to take that into consideration, your commute.
Yeah. So definitely one of the things to consider, right? A lot of people think of Las Vegas, they think of the Strip, and that's all kind of what Vegas has to offer. And again, right, it's a city life here, but if that's something that you're not really looking forward to, or if you have a family, definitely one of the pros, like Carlos said, is that El Capitan Ranch is a little more rural, so it's a little further out. You get a little more peace and quiet out there. And I think even some of the properties that are there have a little more acreage and a little more bigger lot sizes as well, right?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So out there, I've seen a lot of American West homes in that community. So if you love American West, you love basements, you need one, I think it'll be a good place to start your search at least.
Okay, cool. What's another pro about living in El Capitan Ranch?
One of my favorite things about El Cap Ranch is that you're neighbors with Summerlin. So if you're not familiar with Las Vegas, Summerlin is a very desirable area as well, very high end, full of shopping centers, restaurants, and things to do. Yeah. But you don't have to pay that premium of being in Summerlin, so you're just blocks away at that point.
What do you think is maybe the median price of living in Summerlin versus El Capitan Ranch? What do you think the difference is in price?
I mean, I think the difference in there would be at least 60 to 80 grand difference. Summerlin tends to be up there, and El Cap is right outside of Summerlin, so I think you'll get a bang for your buck just being in El Capitan Ranch.
And guys, and that's one of the things when you consider moving here to Las Vegas, if purchasing a home is on your wish list, or hey, it's your first time and you're thinking, do I rent, do I buy? Those are some of the things to consider, because like Carlos said, Summerlin is world famous for being one of the largest and one of the first master plan communities. I think even last year it ranked in the top 5 of master plan communities and the number of homes that have been sold. So a lot of people that relocate here to Vegas, Summerlin is always the number one thing that they always ask about. I want to live in Summerlin, I want to live in Summerlin. But then once they come to Vegas, they visit, or maybe you move here and you rent for 6 months, you start to see some of these other communities and like these other places like El Capitan Ranch that you might not even hear about. But when you come out here, you check it out, I mean, you might be able to find a home there that's $300,000 versus going to Summerlin and paying $360,000, $380,000. And again, right, it's a cheaper mortgage payment, it's less money down for the down payment. So all these types of things are the things that we can help you look for, whether it's buying or renting. You guys just gotta hit us up. Send me a message so we can figure out what you're looking for, what you like, what you don't like, and then we can find some of these little pocket neighborhoods like El Capitan that can help you, call Las Vegas your new home. So it's further away, you got a little more rural vibe, you got some basements, you got right outside of Summerlin. What's another pro that El Capitan Ranch has to offer?
Well, since it's on the edge of town, you have access to hiking, tons of parks in that area. And these parks are huge, guys. They're not like little small parks. These parks are really big.
Yeah.
So, the outdoor activities out on that side of town are really popular. So one thing to consider.
And that's, I think, one of the things that we love talking about Vegas is that the whole outdoor lifestyle.
100%.
I think a lot of people, when you hear of Vegas, you're thinking the Strip. And hey, we're world famous for that, right? But there's so many other things that we have to offer here in Vegas, especially the hiking, the outdoor life, camping, bike riding. And being that El Capitan borders Summerlin, right, you have Red Rock.
Yeah.
So you're just right down the road, minutes away from Red Rock. You can go up there and bike ride, you can go and hike. They've got the cool little scenic drive, which I know some of you that have reached out to us actually have checked it out and have sent me photos, which I think was super cool. And I'm glad you guys were able to experience that. And again, if you guys haven't checked out our YouTube channel, we've actually done some other videos about El Capitan Ranch that shows some of the parks, hiking, and like Carlos said, these parks are massive. So you can go there and exercise, right? Even this whole COVID has, made working out a little more difficult. So just to get out, get some fresh air, and not just be cooped up in your home. And even though some of these properties in El Capitan Ranch, you've got a little more, bigger lot sizes, maybe even some of the homes get you a little more bang for your buck. You got all these parks and stuff that you can take advantage of. And if you got kids, right, Carlos? I know you got a couple of kids. How friendly are the parks and stuff, the neighborhood for the kids and stuff?
Man, so the parks are very accessible and they're so big. So you tend to always have like your own play area. If you have a dog, you can let them loose, let them run around. You don't have to worry about any crowds on that side of town, really. Perfect for barbecuing. We tend to have actually our Easter barbecue on that side of town. Okay. Since the parks is so big, you can just find an area and it's away from everybody else and have a great time out there.
And that's another thing, man. You got great weather here in Vegas, so you can take advantage of all the outdoor activities that we were just mentioning, cookouts like Carlos just mentioned. And a lot of these parks too, they have little like dog runs as well. So, you can take your dog out, they can run in a specific area and kind of be away from people. But, there's just a lot of activities that you can take advantage of in that part of town.
Another pro I want to mention is the home prices there, right? So right now in Las Vegas, the median home price is at $319,000. And in El Capitan Ranch, you can find homes for $300,000, even a little bit under $300,000.
Okay.
So that's something to consider if you are going to be around that price range.
Now, let's just say they are looking, it's a first-time home buyer, $300,000 in El Capitan Ranch. Roughly, what does that house look like? Is that like a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom?
It would be, 3 bedrooms, maybe some 4 bedrooms, 2-story. 1,500 square feet. You know, the lot sizes are gonna be average 6,000 square feet. But the good part is that the years built are between 1990 and 2000. So you're not gonna have very old homes to worry about, and they all should be in good conditions.
Guys, especially for you first-time home buyers, $300,000, we have programs here in Las Vegas that can actually cover your down payment for you. So if you guys know that you're gonna be moving to Vegas and purchasing a home is at the top of your list, we do have assistance programs here in town. They're really easy to qualify for. You just have to have at least a 640 credit score, and if you make less than $98,500 a year in income, those are the two big requirements that they look for. And we've literally done deals for clients where we can cover their down payment. Carlos has been able to get the seller to pay for their closing costs. And we had some clients where they've actually come in to purchase a home with less than $1,000. So homeownership in Las Vegas is very real, guys. As busy as the market is, these are the types of things that we love helping you guys with, because especially if you're moving from some of these higher price cost of living cities, you know, you might not even think that you could afford to purchase a home. But you know, if you're making the move here, homeownership is one of the biggest things that I've seen a lot of people when they relocate, that they get to check that off their bucket list. And you know, if you guys are moving, you know, and you're thinking about purchasing, you can actually purchase ahead of time too. So a lot of times you own a home, let's say in California, and you're thinking of relocating here, you know, you could actually purchase ahead of time, or, you know, we can get you in touch with one of our agents like Carlos. We can help coordinate the sale of your home with the new purchase here, because it takes a lot of coordination between when is that house closing, when can you close here in Las Vegas, so that way everyone kind of works as a team, but super doable. And you know, I'm sure you've seen a lot of first-time home buyers, you know, being able to purchase, right, in that type of price range.
Hey guys, so keep in mind, when relocating, it can get stressful. So you want to work with somebody that understands and can create the timelines that you need to be able to close and sell your current property at the same time buying your new property. So when you're closed on the old property, you're just moving all your stuff, packing everything, moving straight into the new home. You don't have to go move in with family members, bring the dogs with you, get a storage unit. So essentially you're moving 3 times. So if you guys are relocating, please reach out, let us know how we can help and strategize your move the best way possible. I can help somebody relocate and only have to move once, right? So what does that mean? We're gonna put your home for sale, coordinate that closing time, while at the same time, we have your new home under contract and coordinating that closing time to match when the home that you're currently living at sells. So you can just pack all your things and move it into the new home right away without having to get a storage, without having to move to a family's house, nothing like that. And then that's very important for a lot of people, because especially if you're relocating to a new city, you might not have anywhere to stay.
And it gets stressful, right? You're thinking about the move, you know, your job, getting the kids in school, all of that stuff. So you know, that's where having a good team by your side can help the home purchase or the home sale, or you know, just the transition in itself as stress-free as possible. And that's kind of why, you know, we're here to help you guys out. And just, you know, we want to make sure that when you call Las Vegas your home, you enjoy the process, because, you know, it is stressful and we do understand that. And, you know, that's why we're here for you guys.
And what I've been seeing is that the rental prices versus the mortgage tends to be lower, believe it or not, right now, right?
Yeah.
Have you been seeing the same thing?
Yeah, I know, you know, there's a lot of reports that have talked about rental prices going up. And I know in Las Vegas, you know, rents have been going up steadily, you know, over the last few years. So, I mean, if you're renting and you're going to be paying $1,500 to $1,800 for a 3-bedroom home, I mean, why not give homeownership a shot? You know, and I think with having assistance programs and interest rates being at all-time lows, to me now is not, you know, it's such a good time to be able to look at purchasing a home, or at least talk to a lender, right?
Right.
Even if you're still a little apprehensive or a little afraid to pull the trigger and say, hey, I'm ready to buy, you could still talk to a lender like myself. We can run through some numbers with you and then really lay it out. And I think for me, I'm more of a visual person. So if I can see on paper what it would take to purchase, the down payment, closing costs, all that stuff, and then I can really make sense of the numbers, that's the part where I enjoy helping people understand the process, because then I know we've had a few clients that, you know, they didn't think that they could buy.
Yeah.
That you were able to get them over to us. You know, we talked to them, help educate them a little bit, and we were able to turn them into homeowners.
Exactly. Yeah, and one thing that I tell all my clients is that if you're just thinking about buying, you're not sure, even if you're 6 months out or more, still contact the lender, run some numbers, pick his brain, allow him to get you on the right track. So when you are ready to squeeze the trigger, everything is laid out and everything is smooth. So Sean, let me ask you, if somebody wants to buy a house in the $300,000 range, how much money should they have saved up, like minimum?
Well, like I said, you can take advantage of the down payment assistance programs. If you are purchasing the property prior to your move to Las Vegas, so you don't have a job or anything lined up here, we would consider that a second home or a vacation home. Okay, so the down payment on that is 10%. So again, we're talking about the numbers that we're looking at, $300,000, you're looking at a $30,000 down payment, plus any closing costs that the seller doesn't cover or you can't get covered for them or negotiate that. So at a worst case, if they had to put down their 10% plus all of their own closing costs, you know, you're looking at maybe, you know, $37,000 out of pocket. So you probably want to have at least, you know, $40,000 or so in the bank.
Okay.
But if it's your primary residence, we can look at FHA financing, which is only 3.5% down. So again, at the $300,000 purchase price, you're looking at about $10,500 for a down payment. Mm-hmm. And again, having a great agent by your side that's going to fight for you, negotiate for you, you can get those closing costs covered. If not, you know, at that $300,000 price range, you're looking at $6,000 to $7,000 in closing costs. So again, about 20 grand if you had to come out of pocket with everything yourself. But in a great, positive scenario, you get your down payment assistance covered.
Yep.
And now you just got to pay your closing costs, right? So another 6 or 7 grand. And then you get a good agent like you that can negotiate some closing costs. You might be able to knock that down in half. So you're talking $3,000 to $5,000. And if you're renting, guys, you're going to need your first month rent, your last month's rent, security deposit, right? So you're looking at probably $4,000 or $5,000.
At least, yeah.
So the same money that you would put into your rental deposit to pay your landlord's mortgage can go into the down payment or your closing costs, and you can now become a homeowner.
Exactly. Yeah. So if somebody's buying their first home and they qualify for the down payment assistance, all they really need is their money for their closing costs, right?
Yep.
About $7,000-8,000.
Roughly.
Right. Perfect. So you guys, home ownership is more attainable than you think. It's just getting in contact with the right person to get your questions answered and get the process started is the first step, right?
And a lot of people that have reached out, or we talk to every day about the buying process. Sometimes they get bad information, right? From either reading stuff online or a family member that might have bought a house 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something that's very common that I run into, where maybe, a mom, parent, or uncle or somebody bought a house and they're telling you, you need 20% down and this and that, to buy a house, or I need a 720 credit score in order to purchase.
Yeah.
Guys, those are all myths. Those things don't exist, right? We can go to a 580 credit score and you can still buy a house.
Wow.
You got down payment assistance programs that we can get you access to purchase. So talking with a lender, I know sometimes it can be a little scary, or people don't want to give out too much information. But the more that we know, the more that we can know about yourself, your finances, the better we can help you put yourself into the right path to become a homeowner. And I think that's one of the biggest things, because once I know how I can help you, we can put you on that path, get you with Carlos, and then you can do your thing and start finding out, right, what parts of town would work best for them and their families, and really get them into a great deal and find them a home.
Yeah. And Sean, so I know we've done this in the past, but if somebody doesn't have the full 8,000, 10,000 they need to move forward, can they still get a gift from like a family member or somebody to help them buy that house?
Yes, absolutely. Gifts are allowable.
Okay.
So guys, if you don't have the money saved up, you can ask a family member, right? Mom, dad, auntie, uncle, they can help you with some of this money towards the purchase of your home. So again, you know, getting with a lender like myself, or even having a conversation, you know, with an agent like Carlos, he can get you in touch with the right person. So that way, again, we get you the good advice, the right advice, so that way we can make sure that you can be successful and start building wealth, right? That's what this is all about. If you can buy a home, you start to build some equity, you build a savings, right, for you and your family, and you know, eventually you can become an investor, right, and start building up that wealth. So guys, that's what we're here for. We love talking real estate with you guys. So don't forget, drop some comments below. Let us know what you think. Hopefully a lot of this stuff so far is helping you guys understand not only real estate, but how amazing El Capitan Ranch is. And now let's hop into the cons. We got to talk about the cons. So what are some of the bad parts about El Capitan that we can share with everybody?
So some of the cons that I've seen is the commute times to get to El Capitan Ranch. Since there is not a nearby freeway exit, you are gonna be on the road, hitting lights, stop signs to get home. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people also have to take in consideration.
Yeah, so remember El Capitan, and we can pull up the map real quick, Leo. We can see that we're in as far northwest, almost of the city as you can go. And to get anywhere, you're either gonna take the 215, which can loop you all the way around to get you to the southwest, to the Strip, over to Green Valley, or you can cut through town, take Cheyenne, but you're gonna be on a surface street, hitting traffic lights and stop signs like Carlos had mentioned to get to the 15 and 95 freeway, to kind of maybe take a little shortcut to get to the Strip. So one of the things that we always talk about is, you know, really learning about where you folks want to live, where are you going to spend your free time, because depending on your tolerance on your commute, you know, 30-minute, 45-minute drive to get, you know, home and to work might be a little much for you guys. You know, and we've done some other maps and examples from getting from El Capitan over to Green Valley Ranch. You can see, I think the last time we did one of those, it's about 30, 45 minutes, and that's without traffic. So if you factor that in, you know, could be an extra 10, 20 minutes. Or maybe you need to get to the Strip. A lot of people move to Vegas, they end up working on the Strip. So, you know, take into account all those times. And I think one of the best things you can do is when you come to Vegas, drive around the city. You know, rent a car, drive during the morning rush hour times, drive during the afternoon rush hour times. Is that something that you're gonna wanna deal with? Because again, you know, depending on where you're coming from, your tolerance will be different. Myself, I don't wanna be driving more than 15 to 20 minutes, you know, each way. I don't know about you. I know you're probably driving around quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
On property.
Man, you gotta get a Tesla then, self-drive, you'll be good, right?
Yeah. But, you know, hey, that's one of the cons, right? Is that El Capitan's really out there in the Northwest. It's a pro and con. You're away from everything, but at the same time, depending on what you guys like to do, it might be a little far of a drive.
Yeah.
Let's hop into con number 2. Carlos, what do you got for us?
Con number 2, I would have to mention that since El Capitan Ranch is such a small, tight-knit neighborhood, you might not have a lot of homes available for sale when you start your search. So you gotta be ready to go out and view the property as soon as it hits the market, and be prepared with a good pre-approval letter so you can start submitting offers right away.
talk about the market a little bit. I know, there's people that are relocating from all over the country. And every little, state, every city, every market's got a little different, type of activity. What are you seeing right now from your perspective as an agent here in Vegas?
So when it comes time to submit an offer, what I've been having a lot of luck with is preparing my buyer to have some extra money set aside to cover the appraisal in case it comes in a little bit low.
Okay.
Because we are having to go a little bit above the asking price when we're competing with multiple offers. And that is most of the cases, like 9 times out of 10, you are going to be competing with multiple offers right now. So that's what's been helping me get our offer accepted and beat out the other 6, 7 offers on the table. A couple of $1,000s extra out of pocket will get you the winning offer.
Yeah. What are some of the tips that maybe you can give people, if they're thinking of buying? Because I know a lot of times first-time home buyers, or maybe even people that have bought and sold homes before, they know they can qualify, but sometimes they want to go look at the house first. Would you recommend doing that in today's market? Do they have the time to go out, find a home without a pre-approval letter, and then say, hey, this is the house I want to buy, let's make an offer?
Yeah, absolutely not. No, it's gonna put you in a really bad spot. It's gonna make you miss out on possibly your dream home, right? So we need you as a buyer to be in contact with a good lender, have the lender answer all your questions and lay out all your finances, and he'll tell you exactly how much money you need to have in the bank to be able to proceed to buy a home. That way, when we start looking at homes and you find the right one, we can act fast and get that property under contract to keep other people from viewing it and submitting higher offers possibly than the ones that we're gonna send. So yeah, a pre-approval letter is definitely the first step in home buying.
Okay. What if someone's selling their home, they're paying cash? What's something that they should bring with them or have access to, so that way you can write the offer for someone that's paying cash?
So if you're buying a home all cash, all we need is a proof of funds, just basically showing the balance of the available funds you have to purchase this home. And that is just as good as a pre-approval from the lender.
Guys, so remember, right, when us as mortgage professionals, real estate professionals, when we ask for documentation, we're not doing that to be nosy, right? I don't care what you spend your money on. We're not looking at that stuff. It's literally to help us do our job so we can help you get your dream home, right? So whether it's the pre-approval, when we ask for pay stubs, bank statements, all of that stuff, it's a necessity, right? I'm not asking that to, again, look at what you're spending your money on. It's literally to make sure that you qualify. And then when I give my stamp of approval saying that, yes, you can purchase up to a certain price point, it's gonna help agents like Carlos do his job because he knows that I verified everything and that you are a bona fide buyer. And same thing if you're paying cash, right? He's gotta verify and make sure that you've got the money in your bank account. That way, when he writes his offer, he puts you in the best position to get that offer accepted, because in markets like Vegas right now, and it's like this from every client that I've talked to across the country, the market is on fire, right? There's not enough inventory out there for everyone that's buying homes right now. You've got some places that are seeing 5, 10, 20 offers on a single house within a couple of days. Yeah. So you need to do everything possible in your part as the buyer to be able to get that offer accepted, or else you're gonna have to keep shopping, keep writing offers, and over time it does get frustrating. So we wanna be able to help you when you emotionally fall in love with that house, be able to get you that home that you want. And again, call Las Vegas your new home. So what's another con about El Capitan?
So in El Capitan, you're not gonna find any newer homes. The average build time, 1990 to 2000. You're gonna get a few 2005, 2008, but not too many available. So if you are looking for a newer home, 2015 or higher, El Capitan Ranch is not gonna be the area for you.
Gotcha. And guys, that's where, again, right, figuring out what you want. That way we can figure out all these other communities to look for, because there are a lot of new developments here in Las Vegas, which is kind of cool because, you know, now that you think about the time difference, right? I mean, a house built in 2000, even though it doesn't sound that long ago, I mean, that's 21 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for those kids, I mean, make you feel old, right? 21, they can drink. I mean, shoot, that's how old some of these properties are. And I think in Las Vegas, we do get spoiled because there's so many new developments, right? You might think a 20-year-old house is old, actually.
Yeah.
And a thing to remember when you do go to these new home tracks, you know, let us know if you guys need help setting up tours, getting you guys access to these properties, because a lot of times the builder can be a little finicky when it comes to representation. And what I mean by that is, if you're in town and let's say you walk into a new home track without a real estate agent, sometimes these builders do not let you have an agent represent you after the fact. So I've talked about this before where, you know, just think of if you're going to court, right? If you're in a lawsuit or you're in some kind of trial, you need an attorney to represent you, right? You're not going to go in there by yourself, or you're not going to ask the other party to represent you as well. And that's essentially kind of what the builder is, right? They have their agent that is there to sell their inventory, their property. So do you really think that guy's fighting for you if he's representing the seller? Probably not. But that's where if you guys can get a hold of us ahead of time, we can set up these showings, we can get you guys access to these properties. And again, have a good agent that's gonna fight for you, ask for some of these credits. What are some of the credits that actually you've negotiated for some of your clients at a new home track?
So the new home tracks tend to always offer to pay for your closing costs.
Okay.
Right, so that could be a savings of $7,000 to $8,000. But sometimes I've seen it where they only offer like 1%. And we have to go in there and renegotiate those terms to get you more savings on the closing cost side. So I've seen that a lot, and just keep in mind that these agents that are at the new home builds are representing the builder, like Sean mentioned. So their best interest is always gonna be with the builder and not yourself. So always get a second opinion, always reach out to a realtor first before you go see any new home builds. And Sean, I know that the builder always wants to use their own lender, right? Because they have the best incentives. Are you able to compete with those lenders at the new home builds?
Yeah, it depends on what the offer is. Sometimes the incentive that they're pushing it's not that great, and we can actually meet it or match it.
Yeah.
But it just depends. But that's where, like you had mentioned, you know, getting a second opinion, you know, it's always a good thing. And I've told clients sometimes, you know, they do go to a new home build, and unfortunately, you know, as a mortgage company, we can't compete because of whatever relationship that they have and incentive that they're offering. But we can still be, you know, a voice of reason to the client and kind of give them a second opinion and still be there for them every step of the way.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of instances where, you know, they're purchasing and they're not getting their questions answered. They're not getting the attention that they deserve, being a new home buyer, and that loan officer that they're dealing with just, you know, doesn't call them back or doesn't explain things to them. So sometimes they actually end up calling us. And, you know, I'm okay with that because I want people to know, like, hey, we're still gonna be here for you regardless, right?
Yeah.
That might be a better financial deal for you, and I just can't compete with that. But service-wise, we wanna be there every step of the way. And in some instances, we've actually been able to save deals because the loan officer for the builder wasn't able to figure out a loan. In fact, we've saved 2 deals last week from the same builder.
Wow.
And they actually shopped the loan around to 3 of their in-house lenders, and they all said they couldn't do it. But luckily, the agent that the buyer was working with is someone that I work with on a regular basis. They came to us and said, hey, can you look at this deal? We figured out a way to do it, and we're actually gonna close on that house. So
Awesome.
Going back to the whole pre-approval part, guys, you know, you wanna make sure that you get pre-approved. Give your lender all your documentation, because that's stuff that can literally make or break your deal. Like for that specific, you know, family that we're helping, they got 2 kids. the two kids picked out their bedrooms. You know, so they're super tied to this house. They know, you know, the kids are envisioning, hey, this is my new home.
They probably fought for the bedroom. You know, they wrestled over it.
Right, you know, so for them to possibly have to then go tell their kids, like, hey, we can't live here because the loan officer didn't do their job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the last thing we ever want to do.
Very unfortunate. Yeah.
You know, luckily, we were able to save those two deals, actually for both of those families, and you know, we'll be able to close on that house. So, super thankful, you know, to be able to help those guys out.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate your guys' service. You know, it's been, you know, it's tough out here sometimes getting people pre-qualified, but once they're pre-qualified, through Sean especially, we know that they're solid, right? And we never had a problem closing a loan when we had Sean involved. And that's how we gain referrals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's why we get family members, cousins, everybody keeps coming back to get pre-qualified with us.
Yeah, we go to work for you guys. That's what we're here for. So you've got, you know, again, if you're looking for a new home, El Capitan might not be the best place, but that's not a problem, right? There's a lot of other communities that are within the area that we can certainly help you guys locate and find. So, you know, those are some of the pros and cons about El Capitan. We've talked about this in a few of our other videos. And again, if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel before, there's a few videos that we've talked and actually showed some communities within El Capitan, so definitely check that out. But pros, you know, you're away from the strip, it's a little more rural, a little more peace and quiet, a little more bang for your buck. You're just outside of Summerlin, so you don't have to pay Summerlin prices. In fact, that's probably a good local tip, right? That a lot of people wouldn't quite know.
Yeah.
So you're just outside of Summerlin, guys. Cons, again, you're a little further out, so depending on where you work, what your tolerance is on your driving commute every day, those are just some of the things to think about, and obviously the age of the homes. So I hope this video was able to help you guys understand El Capitan Ranch a little more. If we missed something, or if you guys got specific questions for myself or Carlos, drop that in the comments below. Send me a text, email. Love hearing from you guys. Love answering all your questions. And we appreciate the love. And share this video with your friends and family and, you know, other people that you might know that's thinking of relocating here to Vegas. We love hearing from you guys. And as always, I appreciate the love, and I'll see you on the next one.